In today's video, we're diving into the strangest side of shopping in the United States, starting with Costco, where the carts alone could rewrite what you think normal means. Then we'll head into Walmart and see why a regular supermarket in Texas ends up bigger than most houses back in Europe. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly why every first-time tourist walks out of an American grocery store looking out of an American grocery store in a different planet. Let's start with the most obvious one, because it happens before you've picked up a single item.
I can buy a gun?
Yep.
We're in a grocery store.
This one, thank you.
Yeah, welcome to America. You know, I used to be little like you. Now look at me.
Like here. What? That's so cool.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I have never seen this much in my life. 80 servings of protein powder?
Yeah.
That'll last me like 3 months.
Walk into pretty much any American store, and the very first thing handed to you at the entrance is a cart. Except calling it a cart really doesn't do it justice. This thing is closer to a small wagon. It could comfortably fit an 8-year-old, 2 full bags of laundry, a case of water bottles, and there would probably still be room left over for a bicycle, assembled. Look at that face in the clip. That's not a performance for the camera. People genuinely get disoriented because the cart is physically bigger than anything they've ever pushed before in their life. In most of Europe, a cart exists to get you through checkout with maybe a week's worth of food for 1 or 2 people. In America, the cart stopped being a shopping tool a long time ago. At this point, it's basically a unit of measurement for how differently this entire country thinks about the word enough. And it's not only the carts. Pick up any single product off any shelf. A bottle of juice, a jar of peanut butter, a roll of paper towels, a bag of chips, and put it side by side with the equivalent product back home. The size difference is never subtle. Sometimes it's double, sometimes it's triple. Sometimes what's technically labeled a single-serving bag over here could realistically feed a small family dinner back in Europe with leftovers. There's always the tired joke about everything's bigger in Texas. And sure, it's funny, but if you look at it soberly for a second, this isn't really about showing off. It's economies of scale, plain and simple. Bigger packaging and bigger carts mean people carry out more product per trip, which means fewer total trips to the store, which means the entire supply chain behind the scenes, trucking routes, warehouse space, restocking schedules, runs more efficiently at a national level. It sounds like a boring logistics footnote, but it's genuinely decades of retail infrastructure planning. Quick pause. If you've ever felt personally attacked by a Costco cart, hit subscribe right now because you clearly get this channel. All right, back to it. Second thing on today's list, and honestly, this one hits differently once you actually experience it. What happens the moment you just want to buy something simple? Let's say ketchup.
America, why oh why have you got so many cereal choices? It's unreal. Here, I got Fruit Loops here. I don't even think Fruit Loops are legal in the UK. Look at those colours.
In a European brain, this is a 2-second decision. One small shelf, maybe 3 brands total. You grab one, you move on with your day. In an American supermarket, you don't get a shelf. You get an entire aisle section dedicated to a single brand of ketchup. Regular, reduced sugar, organic, squeeze bottle, glass bottle, single-use packets, a barbecue-flavored spin-off, and somehow a limited holiday edition shaped like a pumpkin every October. All from one company, all fighting for the exact same square foot of shelf space. This is the exact moment someone freezes in place for 2, 3, sometimes 5 full minutes, genuinely unable to figure out what actually separates 15 jars that all have almost the same red label and the same tomato drawn on the front. And it's not just condiments, it's cereal, it's yogurt, it's bottled water, an entire wall, just water. Some of it flavored, some of it enhanced, some of it in cans now, for some reason. It's peanut butter, it's toothpaste, it's chips, where a single brand alone might stock more flavors than an entire European. Supermarket stocks total snack products. There's an actual psychological term for this, by the way, and it's genuinely useful here, the paradox of choice. Past a certain point, more options don't make a decision easier. They make it measurably harder because your brain now has to actively rule out dozens of nearly identical things instead of simply grabbing the one obvious option in front of you. For locals, none of this registers at all. It's complete background noise. They walk in, grab the exact same jar they've bought on autopilot for the last 10 years, and they're out of that aisle in about 4 seconds flat. But for a first-time visitor, there's genuinely no equivalent back home for this level of variation packed into one single narrow product category. Nothing prepares you for a literal wall of near-identical jars stretching 6 feet in either direction, daring you to pick correctly. And that reaction, this part matters, isn't really admiration. It's not, wow, look how rich this country must be. It's a much more universal, low-grade panic. It's the international, I genuinely don't know what I'm supposed to do right now face, which honestly is exactly why these clips perform so well online. Everyone watching has had some version of that exact moment themselves at some point, just usually with a much, much smaller aisle to panic in. If you've ever stood frozen in a sauce aisle, genuinely questioning your life choices over which brand of barbecue sauce to pick, drop a comment below and tell us which product broke your brain the hardest. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's a great time, because this channel basically runs on exactly these kinds of moments. Third point on the list, and this one is less about a single product and more about the entire building surrounding it, the sheer physical size of the store. This is the comparison practically every travel blogger reaches for at some point, and yes, it's become a bit of a cliche, but it's a cliche precisely because it keeps turning out to be accurate.
This place is huge. This is an entire grilled chicken.
Yeah, and?
It's only $5.
Yeah.
This entire room's a fridge.
Yeah.
It's bigger than my apartment.
The floor space of a single Costco or a big format Walmart routinely beats the size of the average European apartment several times over. Sometimes it beats an entire house, garden included, and there's still parking left outside for a small airport. People filming these reactions genuinely aren't exaggerating for the camera. They actually lose their bearings inside these buildings. Scroll through the comment section on basically any first time in an American supermarket video, and you'll find the exact same joke repeated 100 times over. Someone insisting you need an actual paper map, because it is entirely possible to get lost between departments and end up in some random aisle you didn't even know existed 20 minutes into your visit. It's worth pausing here on why this happens, because it isn't random at all. In much of Europe, especially in older cities, land is genuinely scarce. Dense historic layouts, narrow streets that predate cars entirely, tiny individual lots, stores built to fit whatever space happened to physically exist, sometimes literally centuries ago. In the United States, particularly across the suburbs and the southern states, land has historically been abundant and cheap, and entire retail chains were built from scratch, specifically around car culture. Enormous parking lots, wide access roads designed for trucks, and the expectation of one big weekly or bi-weekly shopping trip rather than a short daily walk to a corner shop. The store isn't big by accident. It's big because the entire surrounding infrastructure, going back decades, was engineered around exactly that kind of shopping behavior. And once you understand that underlying logic, the size stops feeling like an exaggerated bit for a video and starts feeling like the completely logical, practical result of an entirely different relationship with land, with cars, and with how often people actually expect to leave their house just to buy dinner. There's also a smaller, funnier side effect of all this space. Some of these stores are tall enough inside that they run actual forklifts down the main aisles during restocking hours, casually driving past customers like it's the most normal thing in the world. In parts of Europe, that would require a permit, a safety officer, and probably an apology letter to the neighborhood association.